breathe. Okay, folks, no, we're not doing Holly. We've just done Holly 15 minutes ago. We're on to old Jimmy now. Oh, aye, old Jimmy Savile. You know him, don't you? Oh, aye. We know him at the moment. He's dominating our screens, isn't he? And our newspapers and the internet with loads and loads of theories and loads of opinions. Yeah, that's him. The old, now then, guys and girls. I can't do it very well. I'm not going to try again. That's all you're getting. But no, my quick thoughts after the documentary that's aired on Monday. I've now watched 3 of them. One of our main supporters here, Linda, got back to me on Monday. She'd watched them all. They came out, I think, that day. She'd seen them all on iPlayer. She said Coogan was great and the story was good. Well, I've got to concur with you, Linda. I really have. I think he's played a brilliant part thus far. I'm only 3 episodes in, as I said. There's 1 to go. And I do think, really, although many are saying it's a story that didn't need to be told and shouldn't be told, I think I disagree. I mean, the fact that there's 3 young ladies and a gentleman at the start of the show, on a couple of the shows, talking, all people that have been abused by Savile, all people that have taken part in the making of the show, that have been brought in by, is it old Jeff Pope there, the writer and director, I think. I think they've wanted it aired. I think after hearing from a couple, they believe it's been done in the right manner and portrays him correctly. And I think they feel others should see the show. I think it should be done if only for those 4 people. Some have said it's not very graphic or it's not graphic enough. Well, I don't think we needed that because we knew what Savile had done anyway. I also think if it got even more graphic, I think you'd have had many people maybe turning on Coogan, who after all would only be acting the part. I think Coogan himself wasn't 100% sure whether to take the part, although he knew he could do it well and do it justice. I think he's played it really well. It's been really on the money. But let's face it, everything he does is on the money. As I said before, from Partridge to Calf and Calf, Farino, mate, was it Farino? Tony, not that good maybe, but he's also, the Partridge, as I say, he's also acted with Judi Dench, was great in that. Brilliant as Stan Laurel. I never thought for 1 minute he'd be anything other than brilliant, and he is brilliant. But no, I think it's a story that needed telling. I really do. And I think they've handled it really well. Okay, the BBC haven't really been shown to be as bad as they were, but we know they were bad. You know, they're not going to make it and really knock themselves. Although, as I say, we all know the lack of awareness on their part and the fact that many people turn many blind eyes. Bit disappointed that Bill Cotton's been portrayed in such a bad light. Because if that's true, if that's real, if a lot was said to Bill and Bill regularly turned the blind eye himself, that's a concern. Because I'd always heard great things about Bill Cotton, and he was behind some of the great acts from the golden era of BBC. And it's a shame to hear that he may have been really, in some respects, complicit in Savile's free reign there. But no, I think it's been a great show. I think it's been really good. I've really enjoyed it. I'll probably watch the last one tonight, so I'm going to enjoy it to the end. I can see it upsetting some people, but the fact that there's 4 people there that have been abused by Savile, that have been involved in it and want it seen, I think is important. And I think the biggest thing for the show, and I really do, is as some have said, I still think over the next 2, 3, 4 years, we're going to find there's more and more people in the media that have committed wrongs, and they are going to come out on the back of shows like this, because people are going to realise that although the complaints are going to be historical complaints, they're going to be from 10, 15, 20, 30, even 40 years ago, I do now believe some people will see shows like that and think, well, at least those people have been heard and listened to and maybe even believed. Maybe people will listen to me and believe me. And I think it may bring some others to task. The downside is that those that do get brought to task, they end up with very short sentences or not completing the sentences. So they've lived the last sort of 10 or 20 or 30 years really living a life and getting away with what they've done in the past. But still, I do think we need to know of these people that have committed the misdemeanours, and I don't think it's a bad thing, even if we find out years and years later. Some of my viewers do. Some of my viewers don't like the fact that women especially are coming forward years after the act. Well, I don't agree with that. I can understand why many people at the time worry about powerful men. With the Savile thing more than anything, because Savile was extremely powerful. He had friends in very, very, very high places, but also wasn't worried about hiring people to beat others up. They've only touched on that once in this show, but I believe in his early days, he had some real heavy people batting on his behalf. When I say battering, I mean as in battering people. I believe he had some real hard men in his corner. He wasn't a guy to be messed with. And as I say, based on that, I can understand why many women haven't come forward. But no, I think the BBC have done a good job. I think Pope has done a great job. I think Coogan has been absolutely brilliant. I think it's that good, it would be up for awards if it wasn't for the subject matter and the fact that, I mean, we're only early in the latest season for the BAFTAs. I mean, we've got loads and loads to come out because every year there's brilliant drama, but he's already up against things like Boiling Point, which is looking brilliant. The Responder's going to come back. Is it Time, the one that was in the prison, that's going to come back? There's just 2 or 3 to contend against without all the new stuff. So there's going to be lots of competition there. But I'll tell you, there won't be many people on BBC or ITV starring in any drama this next 12 months that'll do a much better job than old Steve Coogan there. Because he's been brilliant. Whether you like him or not, he's been absolutely brilliant. And as I say, I've enjoyed it. Maybe enjoyed is the wrong word for the subject. But I found it captivating. And maybe that's a decent word for it. I think it's been good.